All right. So yeah, so thank you again for making time to be, here together in this space, practicing together. And I'm curious if folks had a chance to practice the technique of counting your breath last week. And if you did, whether you are beginning to get a sense of when you might use one technique over the other. For example, when using the words calm and ease would be more helpful, and when counting the breath would be more helpful. Yeah, feel free to respond or to share. Yeah, and Helika wasn't here last week. And so I guess maybe you've been experiencing the different techniques over the past few weeks. Perhaps the invitation is for y'all to maybe experiment with when one technique might work better than another. And I don't even want to use the word better. Really, there's no better or worse. Sometimes it's just how you feel in the moment, what comes to mind that feels comfortable and you're more at ease with using the particular technique. So ultimately, all these techniques is really different ways of achieving the same thing, which is to bring your distracted mind into a point of focus so that you can respond with more clarity and steadiness, regardless of whatever sensations might be arising in your body, or regardless of whether new thoughts might be coming up. So yeah, so this week we're going to continue with deepening our ability to pay attention by bringing an awareness to the flow of our breath, and yet not being carried away by it. So what do I mean by that? This week we're going to look at the breath as we're going to look at each breath as an arc of movement. So noticing how each breath has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and see if you can also stay present to what's happening around you as you notice when the breath starts, where might be the middle, when it ends, and the next breath comes again. And maybe you can even try this right now as I'm talking. And as you hear me speak, just see if you can notice if there is a space between your out breath and the next in breath, as you're sort of like paying attention to what I'm saying, bringing some awareness to your breath as you breathe in, noticing if you're even able to be aware of when one breath begins and the next one ends. So when one ends and the next one begins, there is a tiny gap if you're able to notice it. And is that gap that could be an opportunity for the attention to wander away, or it could also be an opportunity for you to deepen your attention. But the trick is to remember to just breathe normally, not holding or prolonging the breath, but just breathing in and out like you normally would, just noticing if you're able to catch that tiny gap. And if you're not, it's okay too, because it's really, it can take some practice until you get used to it. So as you continue to breathe in and out, naturally, just listening to my voice, just try to notice if you're able to sense when that gap happens in between the in-breath and the out-breath. Just sensing any stillness. And notice how the breath naturally reappears without you needing to force it. Just really trusting the natural rhythm of the breath, There's nothing to do but to allow and to trust the breath to come when it comes and to go when it goes. So that was a little sort of like intro into what we're going to do more formally. And we'll explore this together. And perhaps we can start with moving any stagnant energy out of your body, especially if this is the first time or first opportunity you're getting to move your body. Then begin to make the movements as gently or as vigorously as your body is calling you to do. Just using this time to notice the movements and to be aware of what the body is calling you to do, as opposed to doing it on autopilot. So stretching your legs, if that's calling you, stretching your hands outwards, letting out any audible sigh, moving your body vigorously or gently, whatever you're feeling like your body is calling you to do. And then gradually settling into a comfortable posture, ideally one that allows you to be alert and also at ease, and slowly coming into stillness. Keeping your spine straight. Letting your body and your mind settle down and come to rest. Just notice the state of your body. Is any part of your body calling out to you more than another part? Maybe just having some curiosity about it. And as you notice the state of your body, just bring a kind attention to it. And also perhaps bring a half smile of kindness to your attention, letting that half smile be reflected in your face. Let's go ahead and take 2 deep breaths, just to sense the breath more fully in your body. And bring your relaxed and focused attention to the natural rhythm of breathing. And without any judgment, in this relaxed manner, just notice your experience. And as you feel and notice each breath coming in and moving out, let the mind calm and the body relax. And if it's helpful, you might softly use the words calm and ease with each in and out breath. Or you might want to count 1 to 5 to stabilize your focus. Just continue with this relaxed and calm attention on the breath for a few more moments, remembering that each time you notice your attention wandering away, just gently steer your attention back, just like a little puppy, bringing the puppy back home. There's no judgment, but simply a kind and steady return to the breath. So we'll do this for about 2 minutes, just maintaining a steady attention on the breath. Each time your attention wanders away, just gently bringing it back. Relax your shoulders, be at ease. Relax your head on your shoulders. Each time you notice your attention wandering away, just gently bring it back. You can keep your eyes open or closed, whichever feels more supportive for you right now. Now, as the breath settles, you can begin to deepen the focus of your attention. Feel how the movement of each breath has an arc you can gently follow. Noticing the sensations when it first begins. And you can track it through the long middle and into the fading at the end. So following each in-breath and out-breath as it appears and disappears. And just staying with it as you gently sense the rhythm and flow of your natural breathing pattern. See if you can notice each changing wave of breath with steadiness and care. So meaning not holding your breath or prolonging your breath. Just calmly noticing when it begins, when the middle is moving on, and then when it's coming to an end. And as you're trying to pay attention to your your in breath in this manner, if you notice your attention wandering away, then again, just gently steer it back to this exercise. If you're noticing thoughts coming up, again, notice the thoughts and bring the attention back to the breathing. So as you bring an awareness to your in breath and your out breath, see if you can also sense your body sitting and graciously waiting for the breath to resume. And remember, this is not about controlling the breath in any way. You're not holding the breath. You're just merely being present in this space between the in breath and the out breath. Calmly noticing the beginning, the middle, and the end. And as you notice the flow of your breath, see if you can notice any sensations, emotions, or thoughts arising. And if you notice sensations or thoughts arising, notice how it then fades to another brief moment of quiet before something else arises again. So see if you can let yourself become a steady witness for all of that that's happening within you. Now letting go of your attention to the breath. If you need to adjust your posture, and but rather than just dropping everything with a thud, just see if you can continue the calm attention as you adjust your posture if you're needing to do that, and make the shifts in your body position that you might be needing. And slowly settling into a comfortable posture again, coming into stillness, breathing in and out in your regular rhythm, letting the breath settle. Just notice the rhythm of your breath, sensing each changing wave of breath with steadiness and care. If you're realizing you're holding your breath or prolonging your breath, that's good too, because you can then drop the holding or prolonging, come back to a natural rhythm, and then begin again to sense when the breath begins, when it's in the middle, and when it ends and flows again into the next breath. Notice if there's a space or gap between breath. And when you do sense that space, then just rest in that space effortlessly before the next breath begins. Know that right now you're learning the art of mindful attention and concentration just by returning to the breath over and over again with kindness and patience. You are deepening your ability to focus and reduce distractions in your mind. And let the calmness in your mind grow and expand. You'll continue like this for another minute. And then recall your intention, your reason for wanting to cultivate a practice of mindfulness and a friendship with your mind. How this may bring benefit not just to yourself, but to all people that you encounter. And may all our aspirations come into fruition. So yeah, curiosity. How was that for folks?
Interesting to observe my natural breathing pattern. Or like, be aware of it, and like just had some thoughts of like, oh my goodness, is this how I really breathe throughout the day? Like some concerns. but just like noticing it and letting it go and just yeah, it was an interesting perspective, especially that gap, like you mentioned, between one breath and the other. And just thinking of it and reflecting about it in the way you were sharing was interesting.
Were you able to notice the gap? Um,
Yeah.
really subtle, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 What about you, Devika? What was it like for you? Thanks, Angelica.
Hmm.
You know, it was a little weird because I had a really hard time like breathing normally when I was thinking about breathing. It was like, is this normal? Is this it? I had a hard time identifying like when it was normal. But yeah, I think I got into the pattern and I was able to find the gap too. But yeah, like it was definitely hard for me at first.
Mhm. Yeah, I can totally relate to because I too notice that when I do this particular practice, I'm like controlling my breath, I'm prolonging it, you know? Yeah. So all to say is it probably all normal until we sort of like get used to
Hmm.
the, being with our breath.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Did you notice that you were able to identify when your attention was wandering away?
Yeah, I felt like it was easier to notice.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, all to say, like there are all these different methods, but at the end of the day, if this is like, if you feel like you're just so focused on it that you're forgetting to breathe and that you're prolonging your breath, then just drop all of that and just come back to the natural, noticing your breathing when you're breathing in and noticing when you're breathing out. That's in itself is as good as anything else with recognizing when your mind is being pulled outside. Yeah. So for this week, the invitation is just to explore pausing throughout the day, and try to see if maybe when you're pausing, see if you can notice the breath in its full glory, like when it begins, middle, and the end, and see if it brings about any deeper settling of your mind, or even a deepening of stillness within you. Just notice and practice as you would like, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Are there any questions or just curiosity about any of the techniques we've been sharing or trying to learn and exploring? Okay. All right. Well, if there is, then you know where to find me and reach out to me. And then we'll next week, next week I will still have a meditation session. So hopefully I'll see you here next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye.